of mountain climbing. Friedel Pfeiffer, who directed the Aspen Ski School and created Buttermilk Mountain. And Pete Seibert, who left an indelible imprint on Colorado history, the sport of skiing, just miles from Camp Hale.
Pete's dream, since he was a kid, was to have a ski area. And when he got the chance to come back and go to Aspen, go back to Colorado and not have to haul all that gear and not have to take orders and all the other things, there was never any doubt in his mind that he was going to build a ski area. And the only question was where. For one reason or another, some place would be a little too windy, another might not get as much snow, maybe the third one's too far away from a population center or a main highway. There's all those things that have to fit together and work.
With the help of his longtime friend Earl Eaton, Pete Seibert discovered Vail Mountain in 1962. Within 10 years, Vail became one of the most popular ski resorts in the world, and still is today.
Vail's impact in Colorado, it's the alpha dog. It's the biggest scene setter for the ski industry really in the U.S.
For Pete, I think he loved to be known as the founder, but I think we all know that it took a lot of people to put it together and make it all happen.
You could argue that the biggest effect of the 10th Mountain wasn't with these alpha guys who really created an industry out of nothing, but it was the shock troops that came home. The 10th Mountain brought people home who opened ski shops, who opened ski town bars, who opened ski town restaurants. At last count, maybe 2,000 of the 10th Mountain vets ended up either on a ski patrol, swinging chairs, or teaching skiing. So what the 10th Mountain created was this whole crew of men who didn't want to go back to the factory, they didn't want to go back to the bank, they wanted to go to the mountains because they loved the outdoors that they learned overseas and in training at Camp Hale.
There were over 60 ski areas developed by men of the 10th after World War II. Here in Colorado, well, the first area built was the Arapahoe Basin. That was followed shortly thereafter by Aspen. Then, of course, Vail and Steamboat Springs, Breckenridge, all of these areas were literally put together by men of the 10th Mountain Division.
The first kind of wave, the 10th Mountain, put the infrastructure down, and the second wave that was built upon that was skiing as a lifestyle, as a form of entertainment, as a form of recreation. It was more than an activity. You play golf, you play tennis, you live skiing. The roots, the foundation were set by the 10th Mountain.
My grandfather, William Bigelow Wright, was a 10th Mountain veteran. Well, I was pretty young when my grandfather passed away. At that point, I didn't even realize all of his accomplishments with the 10th Mountain Division until I was older. When I'm skiing up in Vail, with my friends and my family, I think of my grandpa and I think of Pete Seibert and think of the legacy that they left behind, and I'm living it right now. And I think we can all keep the momentum going and the appreciation of the mountains and where it came from and where it can go.
It's an experience that few people my age can even relate to, because we're more concerned about how long the lift lines are, the best snow, or how much powder that came down last night, or traffic, which seems pretty insignificant compared to what they experienced back then. It's one of those things that everyone should remember, at least be cognizant of, and appreciate, because it was a lot more difficult than it is now to go to the places we get to go to, on snow especially.
My dad lived to be 77. Every day that I do go up the mountain, I think of my dad, and it puts me in the right place. Whenever I get the opportunity, whenever I see one of the 10th vets, I make a point of saying thank you for their sacrifice and for the life that they gave us.
These now 89, 90, 91, 92-year-old men are still loving skiing. They are fit, they are athletic, they are bright, they're engaged, and they are very committed to their lives, to their families, to their community, to their country. You look at them, you can always tell they stand a little taller, they hold their head a little prouder, and they have such a presence and such a positive energy because they know they have survived the worst.
If you think of a mountaineer, you think of a character. He could live in a cave and take care of himself. We had a fantastic group of characters that bonded during that 3-year or 4-year period that they were with the 10th, due to the hardships and the experiences they had. You established very special friendships, and as you can see, they last today.
The next stop is the Silver Dollar Saloon.
The greatest blessing that came out of the 10th for many of us was the great coming over the mountains. And it became the life of thousands of men after the war, both mountaineering and skiing, and the great bond of the mountains holding the men together gave us something far more important than memories of war and battle. That's what holds us together and has held us together for a lifetime.
Tony, it's really neat that we're both descendants of, guys from the 10th Mountain. I feel really honored, and it's neat to know that the ski roots in my family, started from my uncle, who became a 10th Mountain soldier and fought heroically in the war. And there's a lot of times I look up, I'm in a gnarly situation, where it could slide or I could get killed, I always think of keep an eye on me, Uncle Jimmy. Pretty cool.
We share the same passion that my grandfather and his uncle shared 70 years ago. And you can tell that it still lives on through us because we're different in age and generation, but we still have the same passion for the mountains and skiing.
Because of those guys, we are skiing in this stuff right here. It's all about the snow. And they knew it. These guys knew how to have fun.
What if he's 19 again?
So that's Ptarmigan Hill right there. So across the way is Machine Gun Ridge, and they spent a lot of time up there shooting actually live fire as they had to crawl up that hill.
How about heading over to Machine Gun Ridge? That'd be cool.
Looks like some really nice skiing over there. You can imagine. These guys had to spend a lot of time up here surviving. If only they knew that we were going to just come up here and just rip it up with some good turns.
I really believe that a lot of the young kids need to know about the history of their sport. In the 10th Mountain, not only did they help develop this sport, but they went through hell and back, and a lot of them didn't come back. And for that, we have freedom. Freedom to ski these beautiful mountains and enjoy, what we have. Well, it would be fun to have a time machine and bring my uncle to this date, take him in the backcountry, put him in the latest, greatest gear, and just go, this is what we do now, Uncle Jimmy, what do you think? He'd be blown away.
I'm really proud to be a descendant. Everything that they've done just affected my life so much, and that's the reason why I am who I am today.
It's pretty spectacular once you're skiing down a mountain and thinking about the history of how I got here. But what really put everything in scope was being above Camp Hale and getting to descend the mountain. It made me realize how lucky I am because of the things that they've done.